This is Willie HavMire. Come to talk to you guys today about black self-love and black self-hate. Now, when people talk about black self-love, we often look at it through the lens of having self-love means that you have a dislike for others. Like being pro-black makes you anti-somebody else, which is not the case. When we talk about black self-love, it's more so about the love of yourself. Like, do you actually love yourself? Do you love people that look like you? Do you love your culture? Do you embrace your culture, your people, your neighborhood, your environment? Now, when we ask ourselves these things, start examining our own lives. Do you look down on black communities? When it's time to buy a house, do you say, I want to buy a house in a black community, I want to live around black people? Do you say, hey, I want to shop at black vendors, I want to shop at black establishments just to boost up our businesses? Do we say these things? Do we have an approach like, oh, I just love everybody, everybody is equal, everything is great? It's great to feel like everybody is equal. That's not the issue here. But when you look at people who have been historically oppressed and they talk in such a way, that is the very definition of Stockholm Syndrome. Think about that, people. Now, when we look at those aspects, let's take a look at the Jews, for example. Do you think that the Jews would allow the Germans to control their economy, to give them their education, to make all the means of their economic empowerment, such as their bar mitzvah or their celebration, assorted merchandise? Like, would they actually let those things happen? Would they say, you know what, we need to control our education, our economy, our religious belief, our history? Do you think the Jews will let the Germans tell them what it is to be Jew or give them the historical viewpoint? Those things wouldn't happen. And we don't look at them as being anti-anybody else. We look at them as just having self-love. Why can't we have that self-love? Why do we, the conquered people, take a viewpoint of the conqueror? Think about that in the aspects of self-love. Like, we have been programmed and conditioned to hate ourselves. And this is why I don't have a problem, or this is why I don't hate white people as much as folks in the conscious community might feel so. It's because we all reading from the same books. We are all reading from the same books. The only difference is, in those books, one person is getting a viewpoint of self-love and the other person is getting a viewpoint of self-hate. That should not be the case. There should be equality in our history, if anything else, if we're going to be so integrated. If not, then we need to separate and get our own education. We need to educate ourselves. We need to provide our own culture. We need to control our own image. The black man in America and a black woman, for instance, don't control their information or their image. Now, it's no surprise that we can have black women painted as whores or angry or single mothers when we don't control her image, or she doesn't control her image. It's the same thing for a black man. We can't be surprised that people are threatened by our youth enough to be having guns drawn and ready when the youth approach. It's because our image has been assassinated and we don't have any control over it. Now, until we actually take control of our image, this will always be the case. We will always be ostracized in society as black men and black women because we don't control our own image. Now, I encourage all black people to start being very aware of their surroundings, those around them, and how they are perceived. Now, we have been conditioned to be entertainers. We want to entertain everybody. But in actuality, to build a nation, which we need to be going forward trying to do, we need bricklayers. We need garbage men. We need psychologists. We need lawyers. We need doctors. We need the means of sustaining ourselves. We are a totally dependent people. So as much as we say, hey, I just shop at a business, I don't care about the color, that's fine and dandy. But whenever it gets to the point where it's going to be a sink or swim society, which America looks like it's going in that direction, if everybody retreats into the resources of their own, we will be the odd ones looking out because we have no way of sustaining ourselves. We can't look for handouts from a government for the eternity of our being. We have to actually start creating things. And if people don't want to shop with us, we need to consolidate together and shop with ourselves. If the wider world doesn't want to work with us, we need to at least be able to consolidate and work with ourselves. Now, getting back into black self-love. Black self-love means the love of self. On the individual level, if we take a look at that, we'll say, you know what? I love me. I have to love me first before I can love a woman. I have to love me first before I can love my children. I can't love my children or my woman properly until I learn to love myself. Once I learn the love of self, then I can love my neighborhood. Then I can love my people. Then I can love others. Now, that's on the individual level, but on the greater aspect of self-love, capital self, capital L, we look at it from, until I can learn to love people that look like me, I cannot properly love anyone else. Until I can learn to shop with me, then I can't learn to ever be appreciative of anyone else. Like, we actually have to get back into the aspects of black self-love. From those aspects of, I want to work with me. I want to look at people around me that look like me and feel very confident that we can get the job done. When we look at self-hate on the opposite end, think about self-hate from this aspect. When I don't love me, I devalue myself. I put value in people that don't look like me. My value now goes into finding the value of others. I look at others and I have value in them. I have an appreciation of their culture, their religion, their history, but I have no such appreciation for my own. I don't value what I look like, so I want to wear clothing or hair or speak in a way that makes me feel superior because I look at myself as inferior. So I go and I automatically look at others to gain my own self-appreciation. Now that's where self-hate originates. We got to look at it from those aspects. So like from the ground level, what is self-hate? What is self-love? Now that's only part one. I'll bring this back around in a little while and give y'all part two. This is Willie Words HavMire, welcoming you all to celebrate in black self-love and start eradicating black self-hate. Thank you.